If you've ever launched a product video that looked great but didn't actually move sales, this is probably why. Most product videos don't fail because the visuals are bad. They fail because it's built backwards. And once you see this, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Hey everyone, I'm Brad, and I run Control B Studio. I help modern product companies explain complex physical products using Clarity-First 3D storytelling. These videos are for founders, product marketers, and small teams who know their product is good but have trouble explaining it in their marketing. I see this happen all the time with founders and marketing teams. They invest real money into a product video. The animation looks clean, the lighting premium, the product looks impressive. But after launch, low engagement, weak conversion, and a lot of head scratching. The assumption is usually, maybe video just doesn't work with our product. And that's almost never the real issue. Here's where most product videos go wrong. First, they lead with features instead of context. They jump straight into specs, components, and technology before the viewer even understands why they should care. Second, they treat the video like a highlight reel. Beautiful shots, smooth motion, but no clear story. Nothing guiding the viewer from problem to solution. And third, there's no viewer journey. No setup, no tension, no resolution. Just information being shown and hoping it sticks. When that happens, the viewer has to work to understand the product. And when people have to work, they leave. Even if they finish the video, they're often left thinking, it looks nice, but I'm not totally sure what makes it different. And that's when conversion dies. Here's the key shift most teams miss. People don't buy products, they buy clarity. A product video isn't a presentation, it's a decision shortcut. If your video doesn't quickly answer, what is this? Why does it matter? And is this for me? Then no amount of polish will help save it. More information doesn't create confidence. Clear information does. Here's the upside most teams don't realize. When you fix these mistakes, everything downstream becomes easier. Your product is understood faster, your messaging gets simpler, your sales conversions start further along instead of back at square one. Instead of constantly re-explaining what your product does, your marketing starts doing that for you. The video becomes a filter, bringing the right people forward and quietly pushing the wrong ones away. And the biggest opportunity, you stop relying on persuasion. When buyers clearly understand the problem, see how your product fits, and feel confident in what makes it different, conversion becomes a natural outcome and not just something you force. The better approach is clarity-first product storytelling. Instead of starting with the product, you start with the problem. That usually means asking one simple question. What frustration or uncertainty does someone have right before they start looking for a solution like this? If you can't describe that moment clearly, the product explanation probably won't land. A good rule of thumb is this. If someone who's never heard of your product can't immediately see themselves in the problem, you're starting too late in the story. Instead of showing everything, you show what matters in the right order. Most viewers don't need the full picture up front. They need just enough information to stay oriented and keep watching. Think of it as sequencing clarity. First, establish relevance, then show the core idea, then add detail, only where it removes doubt. If a detail doesn't help the viewer decide why this matters or why it's different, it probably doesn't belong yet. This is where 3D becomes powerful. Not because it looks cool, but because it can explain. When done right, 3D lets you visually break down how something works, show relationships and cause and effect, turn complex systems into simple, understandable moments. The brands that get this right become something different in the market. They're the brands whose products make sense immediately. The ones that guide buyers instead of trying to convince them. And that clarity builds confidence, and confidence builds trust, and trust drives conversion. If your product video looks great but isn't converting, the fix usually isn't better animation. It's a better structure, a smarter story, and a smarter way of explaining what makes your product worth buying. If this way of thinking about product marketing resonates, the next step isn't buying a video. It's figuring out whether a 3D video makes sense for your product and stage. If you're not sure, I have a few quick questions that you can answer to see if we would be a good fit. It helps qualify whether your product, goals, and timeline match up with a clarity-first 3D approach. If it looks like a good match, we can have a conversation from there. If not, you'll walk away with some clarity around what your next move should be. I'll put the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone.